is a legitimate social action on the left, and number two, climate change activism was always theater. The concern for the planet went out the window when their largesse was threatened by Doge, and now they can torch their holy grail, which is the electric car. So they aren't actually burning Tesla to the ground. They're burning their party to the ground, and I brought marshmallows.
Okay, Jessica, the Dems have railed against domestic terrorism for years. And in fact, the 13 who had proposed a federal domestic terrorism law apparently refused to respond to Fox News as to whether or not they felt that they agreed with this being domestic terrorism.
I don't know who they were. I would advise anyone who can go on the record and is in any position of power to come on and denounce any violent action. I think it's pretty simple.
I've only heard of Ro Khanna, though.
Well, there have been more people who have said stuff about that for sure. I think Bernie has talked about it. Jasmine Crockett has spoken about it, and she's the one who
is
said
behind March 29th.
But she said, "Don't be violent."
She said that while saying, "It's my birthday. I can't wait. Elon's going to go down." Well, come on.
Okay, do you want to then take responsibility for everyone who sent a pipe bomb that was influenced by Donald Trump? Anyone who...
What pipe bomb?
What?
What pipe bomb?
The guy from Florida who was sending pipe bombs to prominent Democrats like Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, George Soros. Is that now?
So
it's
you got
Trump's
one example?
No, I don't have one example. People who show up and shoot up Walmarts looking for brown people. You want to take people who've been influenced by Donald Trump?
But that's not Donald Trump calling for that.
Really?
The Democrats are calling for the destruction.
No one is calling.
Tim Walz is calling for the destruction of the company.
He's saying he wants the stock to go down. And I said yesterday, I thought that was really stupid. And Ro Khanna is right. His 20,000 people who work at Tesla, there are hundreds of millions of dollars in Tesla stock that fuel these pensions or fund these pensions, I should say. It has to, that part of it absolutely has to stop. If you don't want to buy the car, don't buy the car. If you want to sell the car, sell the car. But Donald Trump saying on Truth Social that maybe you'll go to El Salvador. At this moment, when the ACLU attorneys are reporting that people have been falsely sent to El Salvador, which is what we said was going to happen, they're being sent back because guess what? They're not Venezuelan, and also they sent some women, and El Salvador doesn't want to take women. Are you going to finally admit that the way that they are vetting these people is inaccurate?
Oh, you're into vetting now. Vetting is good now.
That's so funny. You guys are so cool. What about the Venezuelan soccer player who was tortured by the Maduro regime and was sent to El Salvador? He had a legitimate asylum claim, went through a legal port of entry.
What about the Americans who've been murdered by illegals? Let's not do all this.
Why not? Because it doesn't suit you right now.
Democrats and whether or not they're voicing any kind of negative. It's not ridiculous.
It is.
The question was a simple one, and you can't answer it.
I did answer it. I answered it explicitly because I'm a grown-up.
All right.
And I can say, oh, Janine asked me a question. Here's my answer. Also, Janine, then could you answer my question? Do you think it's okay that innocent people are being sent to a foreign gulag?
I think that what's important is that we get rid of. Okay, I think what's important is that we get rid of the criminals in this country. That your favorite president allowed to come into this country and create
criminals.
To create all kinds of havoc in this country. And you know what? If you want to talk about vetting, then we have to talk about Joe. But Jesse, let me ask you this: is it time to invest in Tesla?
I'm invested. I've been invested, so go for it if you want. Am I in trouble now, Jessica?
I probably am invested too.
Okay, good. So tell your people to stop firebombing.
I have.
80% of the country is not happy with the services that they get from the federal government. So Donald Trump's response is, let's make things more efficient. And their response is, let's throw Molotov cocktails. So we're either dealing with the mob or we're dealing with children. And you have to deal with these people the same way. Discipline, not sexually, behind bars, Jessica. And notice all the suspects are trans. Have you seen these mugshots?
Yes.
What is going on with the connection between militancy, transgenderism, and mental illness? I'm just raising questions here. Maybe some PhD can look into it. But every time I see eco-terrorism, every time I see Tesla terrorism, anytime I see Antifa terrorism or bathroom terrorism, if that's even a thing, it's a big person with purple hair, and you can't really tell what gender they are.
Jerry Nadler is guilty of that. Bathroom terrorism.
Musk Greg is right. They're giving him the Trump treatment, and we saw what happened. They tried to kill him twice. If they kill Musk, we're not going to go to Mars, we're not going to have cars, and we're not having robots. I have always wanted a robot, Jessica. It's basically...
You do. It's Johnny.
But we have to pay and feed him.
Johnny complains too much.
I want a genius butler to follow me around and do whatever I want. Don't deny that to me, Jessica, because that's where we're going here. The media always thought they had this clever question, remember, do you believe the 2020 election was stolen? And thought it was this big gotcha. Well, let's go ask the Democrats. Do you believe these people should be torching cars? Do you believe that an American company should lose 100,000 workers because of fire bombings? I'm going to send Johnny, my robot, to D.C. on Monday when they're back from recess to ask these questions because they should have to answer it.
You think they will?
I'd like to see him try.
Yeah,
You
I'd
just
like
want
to see
Johnny
them
out
try
of the
too.
city.
I mean, I would love to have seen the outrage when people were crossing over the border and it was just completely out of control. Where were the activist judges saying, wait a minute, we have a border there. You're not really allowed to let people across these borders. And then they were taking the lives of people like Lake and Riley. So I think there's a lot more sympathy on that side of the equation than there is for someone who may have been who crossed the border, mistakenly taken somewhere else, and now they have to iron that process out. I do think that, this domestic terrorism issue is real. This is scary. Like, someone's going to get hurt in all of this. People are burning cars. This is not a nothing. It is domestic terrorism, and the sentence for that is 5 to 20 years. So, yes, they will go to some prison or institution if they're convicted of all of this. And I think that's why I feel for Elon Musk in this situation. He had to go talk to the people that work for him. I'm sure they're also worried about what's going on. They're probably worried for their own safety. I think that's why President Trump last week did the, row of Teslas outside the White House. He's trying to support the person that he's working so closely with in a time that is scary for them and for the company. And I'm trying to figure out what people are so deeply outraged about. We have a $9.7 trillion budget, and he cut $115 billion. This is what is this what people are so upset about?
We're going back to
minuscule cuts?
Well,
what are
I'm
they
glad
so
that you
angry at
admit
him
that
about?
He's so ineffectual. But what they are upset about is that someone who is unelected is coming in and haphazardly firing tens of thousands of people, cutting programs, having to reinstate it.
65,000 people, many of whom weren't showing up for work anyway.
But that's
when these kind of cuts happen in corporate
veterans
America,
like
do these
Jesse's
people
friend.
freak out and say, oh, a board member suggested these cuts and I'm outraged?
He didn't just suggest it. He's marching in everywhere and he's executing them.
He's executing them.
Not killing anyone.
I love the active verb there.
my God.
Up next, the
Is this a
progressive
joke?
Bonnie and Clyde are hitting the road. AOC and Bernie Sanders are bringing their wonderful radical message to a town hall near you.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.